So we've gone live. So hello everybody. My name's Mandy. I work for Credu. I'm also a parent carer myself of a little girl with quite complex needs. So I'm a carer myself, and I'm really pleased that I've got Emily joining us today. She's a very, very, very busy lady, and I'll let her introduce herself just in a minute. So I think I remember we were just talking earlier, weren't we, Emily? And I think we first met on a steering group must be about 3 years ago now. So I'll hand over to you. So this is lovely Emily, one of our young carers and a volunteer as well.
Hello, thanks for that, Mandy. Yes, I'm Emily. I've been a young carer now, since I think it's back since 2017, so it's been quite a while now. Um, so I used to provide care for my mum who passed away the year later in 2018 with cancer, and I now care for my brother who has autism. Um, and I'm a volunteer for Credu and a trustee as well now, which is very exciting. Yes.
It must be so. Your family must just be so proud of you, like we all are, for you to to be able to be a trustee. So, tell us a little bit more about that and how the journey for you started, and being a trustee.
Well, it all started really. It was about September 2018 when I got involved with Credu as a volunteer. I wanted to do something positive after my mum's death because she was such a positive woman and she really liked to help people. And I thought instead of channeling my grief into something negative, to do something really positive and hopefully to make a difference as well for people who, like me, are going through and have been through a challenging time, really. And it all started there. I started doing speeches and attending lots of meetings and having amazing opportunities for someone of my age, being only, um, it would have been about 15 at the time, now nearly 19. So it's an amazing opportunity. I became a trustee earlier this year, so that's been really amazing as well, especially during my A levels as well, just to have such an amazing opportunity to get such great experience, really, and hopefully to make a difference as well is the big step as well, really.
So, I'm also hearing as well that you're really quite keen to help others as well.
Yes, definitely, it's a big thing for me, really, because it's sort of how I've transitioned from providing care for my mum, because I did provide quite a significant caring role for my mum, and it has been really positive now to sort of channel that energy and that care really into helping carers and to help others in my situation and similar situations to myself. So it's really good that, yes, it's really good.
It's really inspiring that, such a tough time and obviously losing your mum. And just to hear you say, how positive she was, that you're seeing all of the opportunities around you and turning something that a lot of people would think could be quite negative into something that's quite positive and supporting others. But it sounds like it's also helped you as well get through that.
It has definitely. It's made a huge difference. There's no other way around it, really. It's made a huge difference to be involved with Credi and to be a volunteer. Because being a carer, it was part of my identity, caring for my mum, and to have that suddenly taken away, and at such a young age as well, it was really difficult and is difficult now. But it has been really amazing to use that energy into being a volunteer and helping other carers and to support my community basically. And it has made a huge difference for me to be able to do that and for it to see the benefits as well that people have received from Credi and from other volunteers as well. Just the support is amazing in the community.
Oh, and you were just telling me some of the opportunities, was it, did you say, that you'd done through Credu? You've done a few things, haven't you? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I've been to a lot of meetings. So I've been to meetings with Senedd members. I've been to the Senedd a few times. So that's an amazing day out as well. So that was really good. And to talk to the ministers and the sort of the Senedd members and other carers from across Wales as well as part of that has been an amazing opportunity, really. As part of sort of carers, I've been involved with young carers, different groups to do with that. I've been a young carer representative on the Powys Carer Steering Board, steering group rather, and yes, that's been for a couple of years now.
Did you do
And
some
then
fundraising as well? Was
I
there?
have, yes.
Yes, tell us a bit about that. That's amazing.
Well, I decided after my mum died basically that I wanted to do something in her memory and for that to make a difference for other people as my mum would have wanted it to. So I basically decided to do a skydive.
Wow. And how
Yes.
did that feel?
It was okay until I got in the plane and then, yes, and then it was quite quick out, so quite a quick journey down, and then I was back on the ground. But it was an amazing opportunity to raise money for Credu as well. It was a thank you really for the amazing work Credu does and for the support I received as well. And for cancer research as well in memory of my mum as well. So yeah, that was at the age of 16 now. Um, so yes, so that was I was just about old enough to do it. So there you go.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible. And it's just like you're going from strength to strength and not I just wondered if you feel comfortable talking about it. I often hear people say sometimes it's really hard when they're not doing the caring role anymore because some people take great pride in doing that and get very rewarded and some of the people that I know often feel, where do they go next? Because they're unsure where they fit in. Did you feel that at all, or?
I did. A few months really in 2018. It was April my mum died. So until that September, I was thinking, what now? What should I do now really? Because that caring role for my mum had played such an important part of my identity, and having lost that all of a sudden I didn't know what to do really, and I was trying to see the positives and try and turn it into a positive, really, because it's easy to get caught up in the negatives, and I was trying not to do that. In the middle of my education as well, I was trying to focus on that really, um, and I had my brother still, so I had to keep going really as well in providing care for my brother. So I did still have a caring role, but it was just a lot less and a big change, really, a big transition. Yes.
What would you say would be the sort of one thing that you could advice that you could maybe give somebody else that might be in a similar place to where you might have been then?
I think it's about reaching out to people if you feel comfortable and really getting support. It's so important. If you feel you can, really get support because it makes such a difference if you let it and if you feel able to accept that. Um, and it just
That's
makes such a
incredible.
difference really and just get involved and try and find the positives in things if you can.
So, am I right in thinking, if I got this right, are you at uni now?
Nearly hopefully in September I will be.
So, is it
um
college then that you're at now?
it's at sixth form college. It's my last day today actually, so
Oh, well
yes,
done.
yes, thank you.
So, some of the things that we're working on moving forward with Credi, and I don't know if you've got any thoughts on this, with the cost of living crisis. Now, as a student and a carer yourself, Is there any tips that you could give anybody else on the cost of living crisis? Is there any sort of uni cards or places you can get things cheaper? Is there anything that you use that you think might be helpful for somebody else?
I've had a lot of advice from my college, from my sixth form, about trying to manage finances going forward to uni as well, and I've had a few communications from the university as well. Um, Nothing like a card really, or anything sort of physical. It's more, if you're struggling, seek help really, and get that in place as soon as possible, really, to make it meaningful.
Because I don't know, we got there's the young carers card, isn't there? I think I've got the eye care card. Do you find that
Yes.
helpful if you use that anywhere?
I don't actually have a card at the moment. I've just had my application form for the new one come through just now. But
I
I
think
think
COVID got in the way, didn't it, of that? Because
it
there were
did.
plans in place of it was really quite exciting about trying to link in with the communities and how we can support carers, really, isn't it? But I think that sort of got put on hold because of COVID.
Yes, I think now attempts are being made to remedy that basically with the new card, and hopefully looking at discounts, which will help carers as well, really, young carers as well. Sort of with leisure facilities, I think there was talk about, and other facilities in the local area as well as to raise awareness, of course, which is very
Yeah.
important as well.
Yeah, I had the I had the eye care card, and when I decided to go and get it, it was in COVID because I mean it was to go to Tesco's, so as I could beat the queue in Tesco's because when COVID was first about, I was really worried with my daughter about her getting COVID. So I applied to Credu to get the card, and it was such a magical moment to be really valued like paid staff to be able to go to the front of the queue, and I felt really valued. The staff were amazing, and it made it so much easier for me to go in, get what I needed, and go home really quick. Because I don't know what it was like for you, but queuing out the shops, it was horrendous going shopping back in COVID. Did you did you how did you find it, or did you not use the card then, or had you not got it, or
I haven't had a card
you've not
until
ever
this
had the card?
point,
Ah.
but I have found that I have had experiences where I've been with my brother and I've not been seen as a carer, because my dad's there, and it's complicated for young carers as well because, well, an example with my mum as well in receiving hospital treatment and training in how to administer this treatment for my mum, I wasn't included, and such a card as the new card and the eye care card would have made such a difference to me at that time had I been aware of it, or had I realized that's what it was for. And yes,
It's
it's
awareness as well, isn't it? Because
it
I
is.
think as well in COVID times where we were trying to promote them for carers, was some of the children were getting pulled up when they were carers when they were going to get food for their family, and because I don't think children were allowed in the supermarkets then yet. How were families supposed to get their food when the children were the ones, or the young carers were the ones going out to do the food shopping? So there was, we did hear of some sad stories that maybe had we known, or the card may have helped that really for them. But yeah, it's a bit like you said, often the young carers aren't always seen as carers because of their age. Often it's the grown-ups which are sort of like classed as the carers as such, isn't it? And I know from my own little boy, he's only 3, but oh my gosh, the things he knows, the things he can do. I can ask him, can you go and get like a syringe? And they're in a packet, so they're perfectly safe, and he knows where to get it. He knows what her milk is, where her water is. He's only 3. He knows what she likes, and he often has to wait a lot, and even though he's only 3, he's still some of these roles. He's starting to really support his sister, really.
Yes, I think that's really important as well, to recognize that young carers, have to grow up really fast and have to realize different facts in life so much quicker than any other children their age who may not have caring responsibilities. And raising awareness is the only way to actually recognize and actually acknowledge not only the sacrifices, but the willingness as well to do a lot of these things for the cared for, because it's not always a sacrifice. It is sometimes very much enjoyable, and you want to do it because you love them and you care for them, and that's the point really, isn't it? So it's
And I think that's often missed, exactly what you said, isn't it? That point is missed, that most people think of a care role being a negative thing, but just listening to you there, it's that it can bring you so much more, and it can be enjoyable. It sounds like you've really got a lovely mindset of just making the most of what you've got, really.
yes, it's difficult to generalize too much really, I suppose, because every caring role is different, and that's important to say as well. But it's very important as well to just think a minute and just say, well, it is tough, but how great is it when things go well? How great is that, when
Mm.
everything goes well, you provided your care, you're cared for, are doing well as much as they can be, and you're enjoying family time or time with your friends, and it is just fantastic to see, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely to hear. So tell us then. So, what are some of the things that you do as being a trustee for Credi? Have you sort of like fitted into that role much yet? Because it's still early days for you, isn't it? You haven't been a trustee for very long with us.
It hasn't been long, no. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of my A levels just now, so I've been to a few meetings, but I'm looking forward to the exams being out the way so I can properly become involved and actively engage with the role a bit more. Um, because I've felt a bit neglectful really just recently because of the revision and just having to put that first just now to get into university. But I am very much looking forward to getting back involved, and it won't be long now. 2 weeks, 2 weeks now, so that'll be when my exams are out the way. So I'm looking forward to being more involved then, really.
But it's really lovely though that you're really clear on your priorities, and so it should be. Your studies should come first. But it's lovely to hear that you're really excited about doing a little bit more with Credi. But it's just really lovely to have you on board, and it's lovely to have anybody, but it's especially lovely to have a young carer as a trustee. I just think it's incredibly inspiring. Your story is just incredible, Emily. Is there, just as we wind up now, is there any last messages you'd like to share with us, or anything that you'd like to share with any other young carers, or any message you'd like to say?
Just to say thank you very much for having me, really, and just to keep in touch, really. And if anyone does need anything after my exams are out the way and wants to have a chat, really, I'm open to that. Anytime anyone wants to have a chat with me, young carers, anyone really, just know you're not alone. That's my message, basically.
No,
Yes.
you're not alone. That is really, really lovely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And maybe you might like to come on again when it's a little bit quieter and you haven't quite so much on. And we really look forward to working with you a little bit more when your exams are finished. So thank you so much, Emily, for taking the time to join us today. And we'll
Thank you
speak
very
to you soon.
much for having me. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye, Emily.
Bye.